What's here, y'all? Of all the Derby contender profiles, there's only one I wish I didn't have to do, and it's this one, Owen Almighty. It's been much debated, much talked about that this horse was off the Derby trail. Now he's back in the race, despite what his trainer has said. About a mile and a quarter and two turns, he's going to run the race. So we have to talk about him. Uh, he won the Tampa Bay Derby. You would have thought the Bluegrass would have wised up the owners after seeing that effort, but nonetheless, he's in the race, and I don't want to be a complete downer here, but it's really, to me, a big disservice to put a horse in a race where he's not going to do. He's not going to run well. I don't think he will anyway. We'll take a look at his pedigree, and this is pretty much the primary reason. He's by Speightstown. Speightstown was a sprinter, a champion sprinter. He is by Gone West, who was a two-turn horse, but Speightstown gets sprinters generally, and that's what he gets: sprinter or milers. And you don't have enough stamina. You can see on the bottom from Tempers Rising being by Bayern. You look at the Conduit Mare profile, and you do see a solid and professional influences there, but it's speed 10 and 10, and the triads speak a little bit to stamina, but fortunately for us, we have the races to guide us when it comes to evaluating a lot of these horses. And Owen Almighty, I just don't think is going to get a mile and a quarter, and Brian Lynch has been very honest in saying so. So that's enough for me. If the trainer doesn't like it, I don't see any reason why I should or even think he can. We'll look at the running lines and we'll see. This horse was really solid. For the first part of his career, up until the Bluegrass, he was in the money in every single race. You have to love the competitive spirit of this horse, and I mean, that's one thing I do. I mean, this is a really nice horse. Don't get me wrong. I'd be proud to own this horse, but not for a classic distance like a mile and a quarter. You see in the Bluegrass, I think that was really telling. We know about horses when they do something they're not comfortable doing, they might be okay for a couple of efforts, but after a while, they're going to start getting frustrated because it's not something they want to do. And I think that's what you saw in the Bluegrass Stakes. Stretched out to a mile and an eighth, chased what was a pretty brisk pace. You can say that. That's true. But the way he just fell right off a cliff, tied with dead heated with Chance and McPatrick for last. Kind of really hard to get behind him, particularly when you know what Brian Lynch's position. Now, to the positives, I mean, he does have a positive record at Churchill Downs. He's got a win in the second, so he likes the track. We'll give him that. And, he ran a pretty good Iroquois. Remember, too, though, in that race, that was a one-turn mile, and Jonathan's Way is pretty much a one-turn horse. Another really nice one, just like Owen Almighty, but there it is. You see, and if you didn't need any more ammo, look at that Tampa Bay Derby. I mean, the pace was glacial. It was so slow, 80 and 79 for the first two fractions. So, of course, Owen Almighty had plenty left in the tank. Nobody went out and got him. Well, is that going to happen in the Derby? Don't think so. So, yes, he's, I mean, you look at he's training up to the Bluegrass. He was training fine and everything else, but I just can't endorse him for the Derby. I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time on what we, just look at the average winning distances, 6.6 and 6.5. I mean, this horse is not a mile and a quarter horse. So what are the positives? He is a competitor, and he's got a lot of class, and he does bring it, and you got to love that. But the Bluegrass bore out. The distance is really the biggest issue. And the fact that he's going to be running up near the pace, which will likely be pretty crisp, I think that's going to cook him pretty early. And he should be out of the race pretty quickly. So, long story short, I can't endorse this horse for a mile and a quarter, not in the Kentucky Derby. And I'm guessing the majority of you feel the same way. And I think it's really unfortunate that he's even running, because in the Pat Day Mile, I think he would be extremely competitive, and he'd be a horse that you'd certainly want to consider betting on for sure, because that's the kind of race he should be running in. So that's that. So there's Owen Almighty. We'll finish up with the Derby contender profiles of the two foreign horses, Luxor Cafe and Admire Daytona. And then we're not overly certain who's going to be the 20th horse, whether it be built. I still haven't got firm confirmation, or Neo Equos, or we'll see who it is, but we'll certainly do a profile when it becomes firm. So don't worry about that. Once we're concluded with that, we'll start with our elements of handicapping, form, class, speed, and pace. And we'll try to do that for the Oaks as well. So lots of content coming. We're only 2 weeks away, so we're getting to crunch time. And hopefully we're giving you enough content here that you'll be able to make a good informed decision for the Kentucky Derby. So stay right here at Right at the Wire for more Derby content. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. Please like and subscribe if you do like content like this. Almost forgot that. Thanks again to all of you who have expanded our community, and keep the comments coming. Loving that. So we'll talk soon. Be well.